It's in us. Sin entered the world through one man, and death came through that sin. And this way, death came to all men. Here's one of the toughest things we have to preach, because all have sinned. Can you get a grip on that? We have all sinned. We don't say that to bash ourselves. We just simply say it as an acknowledgement. It's reality. It's like saying, I am white. Can't do anything about it. That's the way I'm born. I am tall. I think I'm still skinny. It's only a 35. Don't worry about it. I'm born. It's the way I am. I can't do a thing about it. In the same way, I can acknowledge what God is saying to me. I am born with sin. David said it. From the moment my mother conceived me, I was sinful from that very moment, David says. And Jesus says he was a prophet. Sinful from the moment my mother conceived me. So, can we get over that barrier where we acknowledge that, yeah, we're sinners? And if we acknowledge that, then we need to know, okay, what do I do about it? If I'm a sinner, if I'm going to acknowledge what God is saying to me, say, okay, I have got it, and I understand that, what am I going to do about it? And how long has sin been around? Forever. And how long has death been around? Since the beginning. It says that, death reigned from the time of Adam to the time of Moses, even over those who did not sin by breaking a command, as Adam did. Just because there wasn't a law at the time doesn't mean that there wasn't sin. Simply, that the definition of sin is simply rebelling against God. Simply going against what he wants. And we have this inside voice called conscience, as opposed to Jimmy Cricket. We know. Because Paul deals with that issue later in his letters by saying, even those who live without a law, do things in and of themselves that they know are right. That's a law unto themselves. That's their conscience speaking. It's interesting, I love Paul because he can speak on both sides of the fence. He's the missionary to us, the Gentiles, and yet he comes out of the Jewish matrix. He's a Pharisee. He knows the law. He knows the Old Testament in the back of his hand. There's actually 3 parts to the law, Torah. And that's not actually the best word. J.I. Packer told me the other day, I was talking about that the law is actually not the best translation for that word. It's more like instructions. Instructions for life. It's not like the law, like black and white. It's instruction for life. The law, the writings, the prophets. He knew all that like the back of his hand, which is why he could make a reasoned argument with folks everywhere he went when he was evangelizing. Where was the first place he would go? To a synagogue and reason with them for days, trying to show them by the scriptures, the New Testament, that Jesus Christ is the promised Messiah. What do we do with law then? What is our relationship to the law? Paul says, the law was added so that we would understand what an offense is. He says without the law, sin is not taken into account. Just over the page, back in Romans chapter 3 and verse 20. I'm sorry, I picked my glass off and I haven't admitted to the fact I need bifocals yet. It says, therefore no one will be declared righteous in his sight by observing the law. Rather, through the law, we become conscious of sin. Without the law, we do not know what an offense is. So we need the law. God gave the law simply to begin to train his people. I'm playing with this, it's going all over the place. Sorry if I'm messing up with you guys. Is it good? Okay. The contrast here is between Adam and Jesus. We see that right off the bat. If you've got an NIV, you've got the subtitle that says, death came through Adam, life came through Christ. The contrast is between the offense and the gift, and how the two are diametrically opposed. Adam is our forefather in the flesh. Christ is the second Adam. Have you heard that? Contrast before the first Adam and the second Adam. Christ is the second Adam. It begins at verse 15. The gift is not like the trespass. Because many died because of the trespass not going the Lord. Because of the one man's trespass, that sin nature comes to all of us. We don't escape it. And we continue to grapple with that. But Paul works out the remedy, and that's the gift. We don't usually say no to gifts, do we? When I was a kid, one Christmas morning, we got up, and across the road lived a family. Their name was the Donalds. And one Christmas morning, Mr. Donald got a Mini for Christmas. Like a real Mini. Like the little one you put in your back pocket, not the BMW version today. A real Mini. He had a thing for English cars because after they got a Triumph TR6, and on he went. Some of the street got a Triumph TR7. Remember those wedge things? You guys are old enough? No one's going to shake their head, yeah. I doubt he turned around and said, guys, thanks so much, but no thanks. I know he accepted, he drove it. Why, if God is offering us a gift that nullifies the trespass, this is where logic just simply comes in. Why would I reject a gift that's going to nullify a trespass? Well, first of all, we have to go over that first topic where we all acknowledge, am I a sinner? Yea or nay? Do I acknowledge that through Adam came sin into the human race, and with that sin came death?